Okay, so we're starting here. Thyestes is really at this point complaining to Earth. So that's why tell us, O Earth, that comes on from the last sentence. But we have these second person verbs here forming this set of rhetorical questions, and Thyestes is talking to the Earth, right? So I'm going to go ahead, since you is inferred, I'm going to go ahead and pick up the sentence with that pronoun and my verb, recognizing that I've got this negative adverb here. So probably the do you. I would want to add a y, but don't, because there's no QU word in Latin here. So you just got to use the do form, because our editor and editors for a couple of hundred years at least have added a question mark here. So do you non mergis, right? I think I give you the definition of mergis. We get submerge, so we're thinking sink, something like that. Ad infernam, que tenebras. Both infernam and tenebras are accusative because of ad here. So they're the direction toward which he's asking that Earth, do you not sink toward infernam and the tenebras, right? Rupta stigi, stuga here is Styx, the river Styx, or the great band from the 70s. Ablative absolute here. So you want to figure out rupio, your definition there, with the stygia having been rupioed, right? Or with stygia rupioed. Inginta et inginta via. Okay, I'm bracketing these off. These are both ablatives. So that's some kind of by, with, or through clause. Ad chaos, so that's another prepositional phrase. Regna, here I'm going to tell you that's a short A, so you're looking at an accusative plural there. So kind of scanning through all of this, I'm getting nothing that's going to be a nominative. I've got that you again. And do you, my non is also going to govern that verb, all right? So, and do you not abripis the regna ad chaos? So don't you do this verb to these things toward chaos, right? Here this is probably by an ingenti via, some kind of ablative of means that's telling the thinker here, hey, how is the Earth going to abrippus, or how does Thyestes want the Earth to abrippus the regna? Well, by means of an ingenti via, or with, or through, or on. And not only does he want him to abrippis the regna, but he wants the regna to be abrippus ad chaos cum the inane rege. So this is an ablative of accompaniment, and the adjective going with the noun is up front here. So he's kind of tucked it in, almost a little word package here, word picture, but certainly they like to put the preposition between the adjective and the noun that it governs, and certainly here he's done that and even inserted the direct object of the verb, because he wants all of these things to be abrippet, snatched away or sunk. All right. Probably not sunk. That's Mergis. Going on down to the next sentence here. Another question. So, and another you, right? With another non. So a series of non, do you non vertis, right? Do you non vertis? Mykenas is the direct object here. It's the accusative of Mykenai, and that's the land that Thyestes once ruled, and now Atreus rules as a tyrant, right? So do you non vertis Mykenas, right? And now this is a present active participle. It's modifying you, the earth, and it's taken, even though it's a participle, it's taken a verbal action here. So do you convellans tecta tota, so overturning or whatever inging convello means, and you are doing that verb to tota tecta. This is accusative plural. We want to be thinking metonymy here. We've talked about the metonymy of this word, what it actually represents. So buildings or structures, right? So do you, and I'm going to modify you, convellings tota tecta, vertis mykenas, and then this prepositional phrase, ab imo solo. Solo here is not an adjective, it means land or earth, right? So do you not vertis mykenas ab the imo solo, right? So that those three words go together as a syntactical unit. This is pretty easy adjective to figure out. This is not an adjective, this is the earth or the ground, right? Okay, debuimus stare, okay? Debo, debere, especially with an infinitive, means ought to verb. You got to do a little working because this is a perfect form. So how are you going to get that we ought to verb into, and I gave you the subject there too, mus, we ought to stare. So, but it's in the perfect, so how are you going to do that? That's your quest. So we ought to stare. Utoke is kind of, it means, it's kind of emphasizing mus here. We ought both something or another to stare. Now, kerka tantalus. Okay, you want to translate this guy into his nominative form. And remember, they are both members of the house of Tantalus. It's a damned house because Tantalus did that horrific act of feeding his children to the gods to kind of secure goodwill from the gods. It ended up doing the opposite. So our boy Thyestes is saying, we both, you and I, Atreus, ought to stare kerka tantalus iam, because we're both pretty horrible folk. Okay, we're closing in. This is certainly the moment of Thyestes reckoning his horrid actions of eating his kids, what that means about his brother, and probably what that means about his own actions earlier in his life, which caused his brother to hate him so.